What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out some more A10 Warthog footage. Listen, I could watch this stuff all day. The A10 is a magical, artistic expression of the American military-industrial complex. This is by Battlelog. We watched one of their videos a week or two ago, and they're a relatively small up-and-coming channel, and they're really, really good. Like, I was really impressed with the last video, and so I figured we'd watch another one, show them some support. They're at 12.1 thousand subscribers. Let's bump them numbers up. Let's get them that YouTube plaque, because they definitely deserve it with the quality of content they've been putting out, and I'm quite impressed. This one is particularly called A10 Warthog Turns Taliban into Pink Mist Combat Footage. Link down below to the original video. Make sure you go to the original video and go and show them some support. Before we get started, though, as always, check out Chug. 10% off. Link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world. It's getting hot. Summer's almost here. Keep your beer cold for a long time. Get your initial on it so you look cool in front of your mates. You can protect your wood by taking the insert out and putting it in your dishwasher so that this nice, sustainable, beautiful wood is being looked after. 10% off, link down below, ships to America. Also, next weekend, I'm going to be at the British Wild Food Festival selling morale, so be there. Also, I'm going to try and make this quick. I made a vlog of me at the Bushcraft show last weekend, and YouTube hates it when I do anything outside of these reaction videos, so please go and support it. Now, I was looking at the stats because I really want to do more vlogs, and that particular vlog, the amount of, so there's like a little statistic of how many people stay and watch the video after 30 seconds of starting the video, basically to show how engaged people are. And that's the highest engagement on a video I've had in the past year. So even though it didn't get many views, the people who clicked on that video actually stayed and watched it, which goes to show that people do enjoy them vlogs when they watch them. And so maybe it's just me not advertising it well enough. At the end of this video, you will see it. It's a vlog. It says Bushcraft Show 2026 on the thumbnail. It's got a big picture of me head. And go watch it. It's a really good vlog. Other than that, let's shut up. Let's pull this up. Let's see what's going on. Are we going to get the burp? Yep, there we go.
April 23rd, 2011. 4 o'clock in the morning. 2 American pararescuemen are pinned in a ravine, alone in the dark. A burning helicopter behind them.
Holy shit.
80 Taliban fighters closing through the rocks. The rescue birds have already been driven off. They have minutes. 20,000 feet above them, one A-10 pilot hears the emergency call. What he is about to do over the next 6 hours will dodge 9 surface-to-air missiles, save more than 30 American lives, and become one of the most decorated single missions of the entire Afghan war.
What?
This is one of 3 nights the Taliban learned what pink mist really means.
Oh my god. Battlelog. The machine
Talk to
built
anyone
saw.
who fought in Afghanistan, Korengal Valley, Helmand, Kandahar, anywhere the radio started screaming troops in contact.
Yeah.
They will all tell you the same thing about the A10 Warthog.
I haven't seen an A10 in person. I wonder where I could see one. If people have seen an A10 in like a because they'll have them in museums and stuff in the US, let me know, because when I go back over to the US at some point, which will happen, I'd love to go see some.
It's sound, because it's a low vibrating thunder that you feel in your chest before your ears even register it. The A10's 7-barrel cannon, the General Electric GA-U8 Avenger.
Is that true? Would you feel it in your chest before you hear it? I don't know. Is the sound wave... No, it's not a sound wave. The impact wave, is that faster than the sound wave? You have to let me know. I don't know. Is it?
Does not fire individual shots. It fires 65 rounds every single second, so fast the human ear cannot pick out the gaps between them. Troops on the ground gave it a name. They called it the Burt. For
The
U.S.
Burt.
infantry, that sound meant the cavalry had arrived. For Taliban fighters caught in the open, it meant they were already dead. They just didn't know it yet, because the rounds were already on the way before the noise even reached them.
Fair one.
That's not a metaphor. The A-10's 30mm shells leave the barrel at over 1,000 meters per second, more than 3 times the speed of sound.
Jesus.
The bullets arrive at the target before the noise of the gun does. By the time anyone on the receiving end hears the sound, the impacts are already happening.
Yeah.
They cannot duck and run. The first
What a sight it would be to like be in combat and see an A10 come and help protect you. Like, there's only few people that have experienced that, and I'm sure it is something that sticks with you forever, isn't it?
warning is also the last. And here is the part that makes it worse. Each of those 30mm rounds is over 11 inches long, weighs more than 1.5 pounds, and is built around a depleted uranium core that is 68% denser than lead.
Lead?
It doesn't.
Denser than lead. It's probably got like a AI voiceover for this and wrote the script. Denser than lead, not lead.
Just punch a hole. It ignites on contact with the air, spraying anything inside the target with burning metal at temperatures over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The Taliban were about to find out exactly what that meant.
Okay, is
the
this a
night of
story?
April
Yeah.
23rd, 2011,
Story time. Sit back, guys. I love a bit of a story.
Captain Mike Vago Hilkert and his wingman, Captain Rustin Trombone Trainham,
Trombone?
are running Overwatch on a separate
Trombone. There's no way.
ground patrol when the guard call comes in. They form up with Lieutenant Colonel David Seymour Howarth into a flight using the call sign Sandy 1, a designation used since the Vietnam War for aircraft running close air support on combat search and rescue missions. They push to Kapisa at full throttle. What they find when they arrive is chaos. A burning Kiowa wreckage, 2 pararescuemen pinned in a shallow ravine, an exhausted Apache running dry, Pedro 84 limping back to Bagram with a wounded flight engineer, Pedro 83 forced to cut its hoist cable and pull off to refuel, and spread across 2 ridge lines surrounding the crash site, over 80 Taliban fighters closing the noose. Hilkert takes over the airspace. For the next 6 hours, he runs what is effectively an entire combined arms operation by himself.
Damn.
He coordinates 21 different aircraft, A-10s, Apaches, Pavehawks.
He coordinates 21 different aircraft and telling them what to do. You've got to be so switched on to do something like that, haven't you? Like all them moving parts, you've really got to be aware of everything going on.
Iowas, observation planes, and aerial refueling tankers across 37 separate radio frequencies. He sets up airspace restrictions on the fly with the Air Support Operations Center, the Combined Air Operations Center, and the Joint Personnel Recovery Center. He fires unguided rockets into the Taliban positions to give Klein and Senna breathing room. When heavy machine gun fire pins them down again at 50 meters, the width of a basketball court, Hilkert locates the threat while simultaneously hooking up to a refueling tanker and marks the target for his wingmen, who shred the position with 30mm cannon fire in less than 2 seconds. Then the situation gets worse. A 32-soldier Army Quick Reaction Force inserts at 2 landing zones to push the threat back. They walk into a second ambush. 1 soldier is killed. Several are wounded. The Pavehawks coming back to evacuate the wounded take fire from every direction. So Hilkert does something the official citation actually documents. He repeatedly flies his A-10 between the helicopters and the enemy gun positions, using his own 25,000-pound aircraft as a physical shield to draw rounds away from the rescue birds.
And he can do that because the A-10's got that special cockpit, hasn't it? So, like, here's the pilot right here. All the way around here is like this bulletproof metal shell underneath him to prevent any rounds from hitting it. And that's why it's able to get so close to the ground. Well, it's one of the reasons that they're comfortable getting so close, so slow to the ground, because they've got that protection. It's really impressive. It's such an impressive bit of kit. I do wonder, are they going to replace it with something similar? Are they going to do that, or are they just going to get rid of it? Apparently it's staying until, like, what, 2030 now? But are they going to replace it? Because it's obviously got a use case if it's being used out in Iran right now.
The course of that single fight, Hilkert visually observes 9 separate surface-to-air missiles fired at his own jet. 9. He flies through every one of them. By sunrise, 4 fresh day shift A-10s relieve the exhausted night flight, and Pedro 84 returns to perform a dramatic 180-foot hoist, far higher than usual, to recover Klein, Senna, and the dead Kiowa pilot. Klein and Senna insist on sending the body up first. The final tally from that one mission: 2 landing zones secured, 2 pararescuemen rescued, 1 fallen pilot recovered, 32 CRF soldiers evacuated, more than 30 American lives saved. The single
That's really impressive. That is very, very impressive. I get the thing is though, like these types of stories, they're actually, even though how you're listening to this, it's remarkable, isn't it? Like it is legitimately remarkable that they were able to achieve this. But it is commonplace. Like this is something that happens all the time with the American military industrial complex. Like they are so effective. The American military are so effective at doing what they do that these type of stories are quite commonplace. Don't get me wrong, this is still magnificent. And there's a lot of stories that go unsaid. So many stories of insane, military feats that just disappear in time and you'll never hear them again.
6-hour fight produced 4 silver stars, 3 distinguished flying crosses with valor, and Hilkert's own DFC,
Wow.
which he did not receive until 10 years later in 2021. When asked about the medal ceremony, Hilkert's answer was short. He said several people lost their lives that day. It wasn't all high fives when they got home. We flew back to Kandahar in silence.
Yeah, I bet.
That is what an A10 pilot sounds like. And Vago is not even the most experienced one in this video.
Karl Marx and Jaguar
His
20.
name is Lieutenant Colonel John Karl Marx. By the time he retired from the Air Force in August 2024, he had logged more than 7,500 hours behind the stick of an A-10.
Holy shit.
358 of those hours were combat sorties across 13 separate combat deployments.
Wow.
He destroyed 23 Iraqi tanks in a single day during Desert Storm in
Oh
1991.
my God.
Flying with Captain Eric Fish Solomonson, a record that has never been broken. He is, by every measurement, the most experienced A-10 pilot who has ever lived.
What an absolute legend. Wow.
When Karl Marx tells you a mission was difficult, you listen. In 2014, Marx was deployed to Bagram with the 303rd Fighter Squadron, the same squadron Vago Hilkert flew in. One night, his radio came alive with a call from a coalition special forces team operating deep in Afghanistan's Kunar Valley, the deadliest pocket of the entire Afghan war, the same valley that swallowed Operation Red Wings in 2005. The team's call sign was Jaguar 20. They were a small element of U.S. and Afghan operators conducting a direct action mission against a Taliban network. Something had gone badly wrong.
It's insane. Like, imagine being one of the lads, boots on the ground, and shit's hit the fan. Right? Like, it's inevitable. Things have gone bad. You've got to call in support. You get on comms, and they're like, yeah, we're sending an A10 over. Can you imagine telling the lads, don't worry, lads, an A10's coming? Could you imagine the relief that these lads probably feel when your boots on the ground, shit's hit the fan, and comms comes across and says, an A10's on its way, it's en route? Can you imagine the lads' faces?
Jaguar 20 was now nearly surrounded. Taliban fighters were closing from 3 sides through dense terrain that made aerial spotting almost impossible. The team did not have enough ammunition to fight their way out. Marx rode in. What followed was, in his own later words, the moment when he had to use every skill I ever learned as an A-10 pilot.
Damn.
The airspace over the valley turned into a nightmare. F-16s arrived. Then AC-130 gunships.
Whew.
Then Apache attack helicopters.
Basically the all-star lineup. Is it? That's like the all-star. That's like getting like all of the goats from every single sport around the world and putting them in one place at one time.
Then Little Bird helicopters carrying the quick reaction force.
The only thing it's missing is
All of them
F-22s.
converging on the same narrow slice of sky. All of them needing targets. All of them at risk of hitting friendlies or each other in terrain so steep that line of sight kept breaking down.
Yeah.
Marx ended up running 3 jobs at once. He was the pilot, flying his own gun runs at 250 knots through valley walls that funneled the geometry into a kill box. He was the airborne air traffic controller, stacking and deconflicting every single platform in the valley. And he was the joint terminal attack controller, clearing every weapon release onto enemy positions that were sometimes only yards from Jaguar 20's actual location.
Holy shit, he's spinning so many plates in one go here. Like, think about how good you've got to be at multitasking, but also having that like short-term ability to hold on to vast amount of information. It's like RAM, isn't it? Like you're going to be able to hold on to a vast amount of things going on at the same time. Obviously, it's within short term because it's on one mission. It's not like over months you've got to remember these things. But like you're remembering so many different things happening at once, and you've got to move all these moving pieces. Insane skills.
His wingman later said he spent the entire mission just trying to hang on because he had no idea how Marks was tracking everything simultaneously.
Wow.
Every Special Forces operator on the ground made it out. Every Afghan operator made it out. The only casualties were minor. Marks received the Distinguished Flying Cross for that night. He has said publicly that the Jaguar 20 mission is tied with destroying 23 tanks in one day during Desert Storm as the highlight of his entire career. When he retired 3 decades later and was asked what he was proudest of, he didn't talk about the tanks. He said this, "I'm very proud our biggest cheerleaders are the guys on the ground who say this thing saved my life. That's the proudest part of flying the airplane."
Yeah, like there's lads who are sat at home right now, chilling with their families because one of these individuals in an A10's come and basically dug them out of the shit. That's the truth. Like there's lads alive right now that are alive because of this bit of kit. And you don't think about that sometimes, do you? You think about the pilots and the skills and all this other stuff, but if it wasn't for this A10, there would be lives not around right now. There would be kids not born. Do you know what I mean?
That is the A10 community in one sentence. The most brutally effective close air support pilots on the planet, quietly telling you the other guy's story is more impressive than their own. But there is one more pilot.
Humble.
And what he did made even Marks shake his head.
Humble.
August 2019. An urban area in Afghanistan that the Air Force has not publicly named. A coalition unit is in a fight that is bad even by Afghan war standards. The enemy is inside the buildings. Friendly forces are inside the same buildings.
Oh my God.
Apaches are already in the airspace. So are drones. 2 close air support
So this was in relatively recent, you're talking 7 years ago.
specialists on the ground are calling targets simultaneously on different radio frequencies, sometimes meters apart on the map. There is grenade fire being exchanged through windows. The geometry is impossible. The pilot who flew into that mess was Major Kyle Metric Atkinson of the 59th Test and Evaluation Squadron. His wingman was Captain Aaron Fulham. For the next several hours, Atkinson did something that sounds like fiction. He simultaneously ran the 2 ground specialists on separate frequencies. He coordinated Apache helicopter attacks across 3 separate enemy assaults, served as airborne air traffic control for the entire engagement, and he put 30mm rounds within 5 meters of friendly troops.
Holy shit. Within 5 meters? Imagine being on the ground and 5 meters away, you're getting a burst from an A10. I couldn't even imagine. 5 meters away. That's like me to the door right there. An A10 hitting the ground right next to you. Holy shit. That's blown my mind, that has.
Of a small living room. Think about what that means physically for a moment.
Yeah.
The A-10's cannon is accurate to within a 40-foot circle from a kilometer away. Atkinson was placing rounds inside a circle smaller than that, with friendly Americans on one side of the line and Taliban fighters on the other, both moving.
Good
both
God.
shooting at each other in tight urban terrain.
That's like sniping with an A10. If it's accurate to 40 meters and he's shooting within 5 meters of friendlies, that's like being so accurate that you're basically a sniper in an A10.
Friendly fire. Miss long, enemy lives. Miss at all, somebody's son does not come home.
Yeah.
He didn't miss. Atkinson disrupted a surprise grenade attack. He stopped what the official press release called an enemy onslaught.
Wow.
He coordinated 3 separate Apache attack runs in 3 different sectors of the same engagement, broke contact with the enemy force, and saved every coalition soldier in that fight. He received the Distinguished Flying Cross with combat device for that mission.
Good
When he was
God.
asked about it afterward, He said something that should be carved into a wall somewhere. You don't have to go far in the A10 community to find someone with a similar story, many of which have received no recognition.
Exactly. Just like I was saying a minute ago, there's so many stories that have just faded in time. Like, these are the ones that are being recognized. And I guarantee there's 4 or 5 to every one that's recognized. You know? What happened to the audio? Did I press? I must have pressed something.
Hog. The mission that earned you the Air Force's 7th highest decoration in any other airframe is just a Tuesday in an A10. By 2018, the Warthog was back in Kandahar full-time. 12 A10s from the 303rd Expeditionary Fighter Squadron landed at Kandahar Airfield on January 19th, 2018. The first
Wait, that last mission was 2019, right? Before then? I could have sworn they said it was 2019. Maybe I'm wrong.
A10s in Afghanistan in 3 years. 5 days later, on January 24th, an A-10 caught a Taliban truck fleeing the scene of an attack in Kandahar province. The footage, released by the Department of Defense itself, shows the truck in a flat desert run kicking up a long dust trail. The cannon opens up for less than 2 seconds. The dust trail simply ends. There is no truck. There are no fighters. There is a smear of dark debris and an expanding cloud where there used to be a moving target.
Wow.
That is what pink mist looks like at supersonic speed.
Wow.
The footage exists. The Department of Defense released it themselves. And it is the reason Taliban radio chatter from that period was full of pleas to break contact and disappear. One night that same year, Karl Marx and his wingman Brad Rhodey Jones tracked down an entire unit of elite Taliban Red Unit fighters at night, identified the whole force in complete darkness, and eliminated every single one in a single coordinated sequence.
That's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. These guys were just vibing. They were just chilling. They thought they were the SF of Taliban. And then A10 just wakes everyone up. Says, hey, it's your time. A10s are here.
There were no survivors. The Red Unit element ceased to exist as an organization that night. This is what the Warthog was always built to do.
Jesus.
Here is the part of the A-10 story almost no civilian knows. While the troops on the ground worship the airplane, the United States Air Force has spent most of its career trying to retire it.
Yeah, it has.
Multiple times since the early 1990s, they officially proposed sending the entire fleet to the boneyard. Multiple times, Congress stepped in and stopped it. In 2014, in the middle of the air war against ISIS, they tried again. By 2015, they had quietly given up. In 2023, Congress finally allowed a limited retirement to begin, and yet the airplane refused to leave. In late 2024,
yeah, now we're seeing it in Iran, getting the rounds down again.
USA 10s were still conducting combat strikes in Syria, taking out vehicles, mortars, and a T-64 tank during the chaos surrounding the fall of the Assad regime.
Wow.
In March 2025, A-10s redeployed to the Middle East as part of operations against Houthi forces in Yemen.
Yeah.
The reason it keeps coming back is simple. It does something nothing else does.
It's a great bit of kit. That's the truth of it. It's a really effective bit of kit. And there isn't another aircraft that fits that bill, that has them same aspects that this does. And that's why I presume they're going to replace it with something similar.
35 cannot loiter for hours overhead at low altitude.
No.
It cannot soak up small arms fire and limp home. Its 25mm cannon carries 182 rounds, about 3 seconds of firing time. Total. The A-10's drum holds 1,174 rounds. When American or coalition troops are pinned down in a riverbed and the Taliban is on the high ground above them, what they want is not a stealth aircraft 30,000 feet above. What they want is the ugly twin-tailed monster cruising at 300 miles an hour, 200 feet above the deck.
Yeah, fair one.
Rounds exactly where the JTAC says to put them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Terminal attack controller.
I mean, if I was boots on the ground and I was in trouble, and it was in a type of scenario where these enemies are getting on you, and you have to be accurate. Don't get me wrong, an F-35 can be very, very accurate. But if you can have an A10 come and rescue you, you're probably going to say yes to it, aren't you?
Named Staff Sergeant Joseph Hauser, based out of Forward Operating Base Ghazni, said it best. If you were to say there's a grunt in the sky, it'd be a hog pilot. That is the legacy. Every patrol that came home because Karl Marx made one more pass. Every pararescueman who lived because Vago Hilkert was on station.
Yeah.
Every soldier who heard the sound and knew in that exact second that they were going to live to see morning. That is the most intense Taliban combat footage ever recorded. And that is why every time a grunt on the ground hears the sound coming down the valley, he knows exactly who just showed up for him.
Yeah.
Like the video. Subscribe to the channel.
Absolutely fantastic video again by Battle Log. Again, I will leave a link down below to the OG video. Really, really impressive video. I like storytelling, you know me. I like hearing them stories. So having 3 kind of mini stories throughout this whole thing, I'm really impressed with this channel, Battlelog. So head over there. There'll be a link down below to the original video. Head over to Battlelog, give them a subscribe because they definitely deserve it. Check out Chug, 10% off, link down below, and check out Morale. I'll be at the British Wild Food Festival next weekend, and then you'll see a suggested video. Go check out my vlog, the Bushcraft Show vlog. You'll see it like somewhere around here, maybe, or down here. I don't know, maybe here. It's got my head on it. It says Bushcraft Show 2026. Check it out. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.